Hi man, Mauricio Rosa from Promise Keepers Canada here. There was nothing more frustrating and disappointing growing up than waiting the whole year for Christmas and get socks, pajamas, and sweaters as gifts. Do you remember that? Thank goodness it wasn't always like that. The best part was dreaming during the whole year, imagining and thinking about that awesome toy you wanted and making sure everyone knew that you wanted. Building up that expectation, living the whole year knowing what you were going to get, that was awesome and exciting. But let me ask you this question. What does excite you? Is there anything that really excites you that you long for? Is there anything that stirs up emotions and hope and joy inside of you? Or life has been so hard for you that even pausing to contemplate anything exciting seems like just an exercise of futility. You know, these days I have been meditating on the book of Revelation. The Apostle John, he is exiled in this island called Patmos, while his fellow Christians and the churches he knew and pastored in Asia, they were being persecuted and killed by the Roman Empire. I don't know if you know this, but Patmos, this island, it wasn't like being on holidays in the Caribbean Sea. It was more like a prison camp, a completely desolated place with no hope. But Revelation 1:10 says that John was worshiping on the Lord's day. He doesn't say much, but I'm sure he was praying right there. In the midst of his uncertainties and insecurities and fear, we find John seeking the Lord. It doesn't really tell us what he was saying, whether he was complaining, lamenting, doubting. We don't know, but maybe all of the above. But do you know how God answered his prayer? By giving him a strategic plan on how to counter the persecution and oppression? No. By giving him strategies to mobilize more men and go right some wrongs? Not really. God responds to John with a vision of Jesus Christ. The word revelation is this translation to English from this Greek word apocalypsis, which simply means revealing, unveiling, pulling up the cover. So Jesus shows up to John and pulls up the cover and let John see in his present reality in light of the unseen realities of the future. So he can set the present in light of this invisible reality of his present. Because for Jesus, there is no past or future. It's always today. So Revelation 1:16, it says that, and in his right hand, he held 7 stars, referring to Jesus. So in the first century mind, the 7 stars would clearly refer to the 7 planets known at the time. So people thought that all of life was under the sway and control of those planets. So people consulted them and so on. So what Jesus is reminding John here when he tells John, hey, do not be afraid. He's saying, hey John, the 7 stars that people believe to control all of life are in fact in my hands. Caesar, he doesn't control everything. I do. I have the stars. I have all the planets. I control everything. In fact, Colossians 1:17 says that the whole universe is held together by and in Christ. Do you know what Jesus is doing to John? Jesus is stimulating John's imagination about who he really is today, to bring excitement to his life today in light of the assurance that it is to come. So Paul reminds us in 2 Corinthians 1:20 that all the promises of God find their yes in Jesus. In Jesus revealing to us this sovereign king that he is, who controls all things, it is just Jesus' way to ensure us that God's promises for you and I that has already the yes in him Jesus will fulfill it. So it's like Christmas all over again. So this week in the Promise Keepers Canada Daily Devotional, we'll spend the whole week looking at some of God's promises for you and I. And my prayer is that as you will meditate on these promises, that the Spirit will stir up your heart and your soul and produce a strong conviction and hope and peace that Jesus really is everything that He says He is today. And because Jesus controls everything, there is nothing that can stop Him from fulfilling every promise that God has for you. Do you believe that? I wanted to invite you to visit our website. Go to promisekeepers.ca and look for our online events for men. So check out our website and register today. Sign up today. There is room. Love to see you there. So God bless you this week. God bless you.